Hello, welcome to this core workout. So just going to do a little core workout, but first of all, we want to know exactly what your core muscle is and where your core muscle is. So your core muscle is the deepest of all of your stomach muscles. It's the muscle that's nearest the spine, and it's like a belt, it's like a corset, and it creates stability to the lower back and to everything that we do. So if you imagine a weightlifter about to lift a really heavy weight, and you sometimes see them and they have the belts across them to give them that stability, basically that's exactly where your core is, but below all of your stomach muscles. Now we want to switch on the core. We want to work from the inside out. So we want to engage the core, that's going to stabilize the spine. And then on top of the core, then you have your other layers of stomach muscles, which also work. But if you were to do it the other way around, if we were to engage the superficial first, then we wouldn't be able to switch on the core, that deep muscle. So that's why it's so important to figure out how you switch on the core before you do anything. And that's what we're going to do this morning. All you need is 2 towels, and you don't need big, thick towels. One of them is going to act as a head cushion, and one of the towels you're going to place under your lower back for a bit of feedback. So let's place one towel down on the floor, and then let's lie back. So we're going to lie back, your head is on that towel, and it's just going to help keep your body in alignment, help with that line from the ears to the shoulders, the hips. Now again, the other towel doesn't need to be too big, but we're just going to lift the bottom up, and we're going to place that other towel just underneath the lower back, just the lower back. But it's not going to be very high, that's it. So your bottom's not lifting up off the floor. You just got something underneath your lower back for a bit of feedback here. Okay, so like I said, that core muscle is the deepest of all your stomach muscles. It's like a belt. So that's what we're going to visualize as we switch it on, that we're tightening a belt. But let's try breathing, because breathing helps switch it on. So let's take a deep breath in through the nose, first of all. Now I want you to let the breath out, but I don't want you to stop. I want you to keep breathing out even longer than you think you can. So keep breathing out until you get to the end of the out breath and you feel like you're almost going to cough. And just be aware and see if you feel anything tightening in the core muscles at the end of that out breath. So let's do that together. Let's take a breath. Let the breath out. Keep going. Keep going. Can you feel anything tighten at the very end of that out breath? And then release. Let's do that again. Let's take a breath in. Now let the breath out, but I want you to keep breathing out. Breathing out. Keep going, keep going, keep going. As your lungs empty, feel how that switches on the core as well. And then let's release it. So we're going to do that, but we're also going to actively draw the belly button into the spine as we visualize tightening the belt. We're going to do it at the end of that out breath. So let's have a go adding that. So let's take a breath in. Now let the breath out. Keep breathing out, and right at the end of the out breath, draw that belly button towards the spine. Feel as you pull the belly button in, the lower back pressing into that towel underneath your lower back, and then release it, switch it off. Let's do that again. Let's take a breath in. As we let the breath out, we keep breathing out, and at the very end of the out breath, we draw that navel to spine, we visualize that internal belt tightening, and we keep it pulled in, and then we release it. Perfect. So once you've got the hang of switching on the core, then we've got to think a little bit more about the breath. Because if our core muscles are switched on, we don't want to breathe into the stomach, otherwise your core would have to switch on and off each time you took a breath in. That's why we want to try and breathe laterally into the sides of the rib cage. So let's place hands on either side of the rib cage here. And this is where you're going to breathe into. But first, we need to engage the core again. So let's take a breath in. Now we let the breath out. As we breathe out, we draw the navel and we feel that core switching on. We feel that internal belt. Now let's keep that internal belt pulled in. Breathe wide into the ribs, so breathe into your hands. Takes a bit of getting used to. Let the breath out. That way your core can be activated and can stay switched on the whole time. Bear in mind, you don't have to be pulling the belly button in 100%, maybe about 50%. And then we release it. Now we're going to challenge. Now we know where the core is. Now we know how to switch it on in this position. Let's challenge it a little bit. So this time, I want you to place one hand across the top of your belly button. Right, we're going to switch on the core. Let's breathe in. Let the breath out. Remember, keep breathing out. And at the end of that out breath, pull your belly button away from your hand. Feel the lower back pressing into that towel. Now keep that connection there. Remember, we're trying to breathe laterally into the sides of the ribs. Can we keep the pressure on the towel? And can we keep the belly button away from the hand that's over it as we lift a leg up? Now, can we keep that same pressure as we let the leg lower? Remember, we're still pulling that belly button away from the hand. Now we do the other leg. If you want to add the breathing patterns, you breathe in as the leg comes up and you breathe out as that leg lowers. Keep this movement going. So keep that pressure on the towel with the lower back. Keep the belly button pulling away from your hand. Now, you're going to know if your core switched off because your stomach is going to lift up into the hand, and that means that more superficial muscles have taken over. So if that happens, you stop, you reset everything, and then you start again. And remember, in Pilates, it's about getting the basic foundational movements right before we move on. It's about creating a strong, healthy body able to do everything that life throws at us. So slow it down here, navel to spine. That's it, lower down. And again. So let's challenge ourselves a little bit. So let's lower down and release for a moment. Now let's reset everything. Let's take that breath in. Let's breathe out. Remember, we want to breathe out till we practically feel we're going to cough. And then we draw the belly button into the spine. We feel the lower back pushing into the towel. Place your hand over the belly button and you're making sure the belly button doesn't lift into that hand. You're going to bring one knee in, but I want you to bring the knee a little closer towards the chest here. Now I want you to keep the pressure on the towel. I want you to keep the belly away from your hand as that other leg comes up. So the knees are coming in. You don't want the feet up too high. You want the feet low. And now slowly let one leg lower down just a little bit. Now is that pressure still on the towel? Is the belly button still pulling away from the hand? Now bring that knee in. Now let's do the other side. And each time ask yourself, are you still pushing into the towel? Are you still pulling the belly button in? And if the answer is no, then you go back to the previous level until you strengthen that core more and more. And remember, this is just one way to strengthen the core. In Pilates, we target every way to strengthen the core and every other muscle in the body. We're going to do one more on each side. Good. And again, breathing in, lower. Breathe out, lift. Nice work. And then I just want you to bring the knees in, letting the legs rock side to side. And then we bring it back to the center. Let's lower the feet on the floor, lift the bottom. Let's move the towel away. Let the bottom lower. Let's just loosen off. The legs stay apart. They go into the side. And then they go over to the other side. And again. And then we go over to the other side. And then let's bring it all the way back to the center. Let's walk the feet, the legs together. Roll onto your side. And then bring it up. Well done. So hope you got to understand exactly where the core is, exactly how to switch it off. I'm going to be sending out some recordings, activating the core in lots of other positions. But enjoy. See you in a class soon. Please send a message if you've got any questions. Thanks.